One of the things that I'm doing this year or in 2020, I plan to do, well, let me back up for a minute. For those of you who don't know, I usually do some sort of a major mindset or coaching program with somebody every year. And for 2020, my project, so to speak, is going to be with the Life Coach School. And I've already started with them, with Brooke Castillo. And I've done a lot of research on the company. I love the company. And I'm running through coach certification with them. You know, I've been certified in a lot of other areas as well, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and other types of coaching. So this is just another certification. I'm doing it because I really like the company. And one of the things that we are doing, even before we get going with the actual training, is we're doing what we call an impossible goal. And so I had to come up with one of those. So the impossible goal that I came up with is to turn, well, initially it was to turn $10,000 into $1 million in 5 years. But I talked to, I think people say, well, that's really, really impossible. And I said, well, I don't think it's impossible, but let's tone it down. Let's tone it down. Let's say we turn $10,500 into $100,000 in 5 years. Now, I know that's not impossible. That I've seen happen. But what I haven't seen happen is doing that starting with a trading size of $200 without the need of analytical software and without the need to monitor the position. And for those of you who say, well, that's impossible to get $100,000 out of $200, that's the point, right? It's supposed to be an impossible goal. But I think in the process of getting that goal, or going for that goal, that we would learn a lot of information. And again, this is a consideration. I hadn't run this by my team. I barely ran it by Sherry. And what I want to do is I want to take this impossible goal and see what you guys' interest is in it, and look at it in the next Go Ask a Trader meeting and maybe break down how we might do something like this. Now, doing this, obviously, a lot of our trading styles or a lot of trading systems take over $200 to trade with, and they require the use of analytical software and all that type of stuff. So this is going to take some new thinking. It's going to take some out-of-the-box thinking. It's going to take some different types of strategies, and it's going to require a lot of learning and a little bit of working things out. And if I do this, I'm going to do this with a live account. And the reason I picked the number is because I have an account with that much money in it that was kind of what we call a lost account, where I just really haven't done anything with it because it was one of the smaller side accounts. I want to take this account and work with that, with this impossible goal, and show you how we can do that. So what I'd like to do in the next Go Ask a Trader meeting is maybe just set up our thoughts around this and organize it and see if we can come up with a plan to get that done. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm not necessarily expecting to hit this. We may hit it, we may not, I don't know. Like I said, it's an impossible goal, but in the process of doing this, we're gonna really learn a lot. And you know, I look at it this way, you know, even if you start with $200 and you make $2,000 in 5 years, that's 1,000%, and that's insane, right? From the level of returns that a lot of people think of, oh, I hope I get 20% a year. Okay, so that's an insane number, but I believe that we can do this, and we can compound it, and we can get it up to $100,000, or we get as close as we can. And like I said, regardless of how far we get, even if it's only a $2,000 gain, the learnings in there are going to be incredible. And when you can do that, when you can take $200 and turn it into $2,000 in 5 years, imagine what you can do with the $10,000 or $100,000, right? We can set ourselves up for life that way. So I think this is I think this is possible. Yeah, and we want to do this in a safe manner. So Calvin says, yeah, this sounds great. Buy Amazon calls a week ago. Yeah, right. So actually, I haven't even looked at Amazon, so maybe that's we'll have to take a look at that. But I want to do this in the indexes. I want to do this in a safe manner, well, what I call a relatively safe manner, where we don't have a high risk of blowing an account out, and see what happens. Okay, we'll see what we can do. I think it's going to be a great experiment, and like I said, we'll decide if we even want to go for it on the Go Ask a Trader meeting. And I literally came up with this last night at like 10 o'clock. I don't know if it was right before or right after the market update, so it was around 8 or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock last night. I think it'll be fun, a fun exercise to go through. I think it'd be a lot of learning with it. So let's look into that. Let's investigate that. And speaking of what's going on, January enrollment, as we stated earlier, is open. And for our GoPro and Trading Performance Market Outlook, if you have somebody who's interested in doing it, please let them know. We have access to this Monday's Options Traded for Income, which is today. They can get recorded access. We get access to today's meeting and recorded access to the December 2019 trading performance and access to our parking portfolio and enriching sessions. So great deal there.